Jeep has officially surprised us today with this $65,000 Recon, and this is Jeep taking a swing for the fences on the first fully electric all-terrain vehicle. Let's get into it. What is going on, boys and girls, and welcome back to another video. If you guys are rocking with the content, I urge you to stick to the end of the video. You guys are gonna love this. If you're a Jeep fan, this is the 2026 Jeep Recon. It has an MSRP of $65,000, and guess what? It is surprisingly fast with an insane horsepower number. This bad boy right here that you're looking at packs 650 horsepower and 620 feet-pound torque. It does a 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds, and it has a mild range of 250 miles. Let's get into it. So this is the article by CarScoop, and it says the brand's second electric model for the US has 50 horsepower more than the Wagoneer S and ton more off-road capability. Right off the bat, we see this picture here where we see it without the doors. This vehicle looks pretty cool. I love the top, and I love that you can take the doors off. I'm not a huge fan of the front end, but that's just your regular Jeep front end. But the article goes to say, the 2026 Recon is fully electric with dual motors with 650 horsepower and 620 feet-pound of torque. Trail rated, Jeep does 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds and it has a mile range of 250 miles. Launches with a $65,000 Moab MSRP. So it has 33-inch tires, 9.1 inch clearance. And let's jump into the article. And it says the Recon range will expand in time, but for now Jeep is launching with just one trim, the dirt-loving Moab. It comes with a single motor mounted at each end of the 112.9 inch wheelbase platform. The pair together pushing out numbers that are strong even if they don't set any EV records. This is some of the pictures here. We're obviously going to continue reading a little bit more in the article. I really like the fact that you can take the door off if you're venturing out there in the wild wilderness or whatever. I love that. You know, let the air come in, feel the breeze, take the doors off. That is what it's all about. This picture right here with the bikes, I love it. It looks beautiful. So the Recon delivers 650 horsepower, 620 feet-pound of torque, which is 50 horsepower and 3 pound more of torque, more than the priciest version of Jeep's first US EV, the road bias Wagoneer S that rides on the same STLA large platform. It hits a 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds. That is insane for a Jeep that you could pretty much take on the trail, take the doors off, and just go out wandering into the wilderness. And it hits a 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds. This bad boy is fast. And it does have a mile, and it claims to have 250 miles of range from its 100 kilowatt battery hour, which compare with 3.4 seconds and 294 miles for the launch edition Wagoneer S. But the difference is in the acceleration, obviously. Rather than worrying the range cap is the price you pay for a genuine off-road chops. Now, let's look at this video here. This is the actual ad of it. Let's look at it. Yeah, we'll hit the pause real quick. I'm not too sold on the front end. I do love the big grill. I do love the big grill. I like the fact that the grill lights up with the LEDs. I'm just not sold too much on that bottom front end. It almost gives me like a mini Hummer vibe, kind of, you know. But you do see the hooks for the toe there. And you can see it here with the doors off. That's actually pretty cool. So we get a better version here. So you get a camera front end. All the windows come down, doors off. Love it. I like that. I like the fact of that. And then you have the frunk, of course, which surprisingly there isn't a lot of space there, but you could definitely put some stuff there. It's obviously rated. That is the 4xe that we've been seeing from Stellantis for a while. Interior looks pretty simple. We'll hit the pause. Interior looks pretty simple. I like the new steering wheel design that Dodge is doing for these vehicles, and Jeep obviously, where you get the half cut in the bottom and obviously over in the top. And the airbag there looks pretty cool. It looks pretty simple. You do get a big infotainment system there. You can see it. But overall, the car looks pretty simple, even on the interior wise. Okay, so moving on, it says the eliminated grille ring, which is what I was talking about, flush door handles and contrast roof options give it a modern edge without losing the heritage feel. Buyers also getting the option to replace the standard dual plane sunroof for an optional Sky One Touch power top. And yes, you can remove the doors, the swing gate glass, and the quarter windows for those really hardcore adventures without needing any special tools. Try that on the Rivian 1S. That's kind of like a little gut to the Rivian. You know, this is some of the interior. Like I said, it's pretty simple, but it looks really cool. We'll look at a top view right here. You know, you got the massive infotainment there, which I like. I like that you have the speed selector here and you have the mode selectors in the bottom. I really like this interior. This interior with that tan on it looks pretty cool. You know, Dodge and Stellantis have been known to make pretty cool interiors. If you don't know, I mean, if you haven't seen the Dodge Ram with that huge infotainment, that's like one of the best things ever. And you get your wireless charger in the bottom. Now, how much will it cost? It says the 2026 Rubicon EV, the Jeep Recon EV, will be built at Jeep's Toluca assembly plant starting early in 2026 at a price of $65,000. Obviously, that price could obviously fall later. And it says it here in the article, as other trims and less powerful models come into play or come into become available, or through just discounts. Now, if the Recon proves as tricky to sell as the Wagoneer S, which is no doubt, Jeep is taking a bold bet on the market that's still figuring out what it wants. How do you rate the Recon's chances? And I'll obviously leave that in the comments for you guys to tell me. I like the fact that all the windows can be removed, the doors can be removed. You are emerged in the outdoors big time with this bad boy. 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds. You really can't beat it. Anyways, boys and girls, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'll see you on the next one.